Hi, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of Morning Matcha. I'm here today with Gray, the co-founder of Arts Not Parts, which is a creative call to action in solidarity with transgender youth. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for coming and drinking matcha with us today.
Yes.
This is literally my, today I've had 12 cups of tea, one latte, and now I'm on my matcha
That's how you're
kick.
supposed to
So
live.
this is going to be a really fun podcast. I'm super excited.
So exciting. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you and just learn more about Arts Not Parts and you and
Super excited.
and have you educate me on all things. So let's get started with what is Arts Not Parts, because we found you on Instagram.
Aww.
And a while ago, right when you guys, I think it was through Jacob Tobiah, because we're friends with him. We love him. Or them. Yes. See, this is what I need.
All
I
good.
need you to educate me. Okay. So yeah, we're friends with them and we love to do all sorts of things with Jacob. So yeah, share with us what exactly it is.
Arts Not Parts is a creative call to action in solidarity with transgender youth. It's basically a nice way to put it is social action. But the way I put it, because it's graffiti, it's just political graffiti that people, I think it has more substance because it is graffiti. You're sort of doing something that's frowned upon by the law. But also it's for you, I'm willing to maybe get a ticket or written up something on my non-existent record.
So you're doing graffiti in places where it's you're just doing it.
Heteronormative spaces or well-known homophobic owned businesses, and they're posters that we're hanging up, not just writing on the walls. These posters were designed by I think over 40 artists from around the world, artists in India, artists in I think Japan, everyone from JD Samson to Peaches and Sia, and it's so
No way.
it doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to happen, right? But it did.
They're doing the art, or
Oh yeah, they made posters and you can download them for free on artsnotparts.com and print them out, go tag them up in any restroom that you see fit and deserving of it. Some people took it to their schools and hung them up, which was great because it's you want people at school especially to feel like they can use the restrooms wherever they want and they won't be harassed or bullied. And a lot of states have rules that are just internal, not even a state declared rule.
Yeah.
But just rules where you aren't allowed to use restrooms that you identify with when it comes to your gender is based on a birth certificate, which is no one was really even there, for the birth. The mom, she's all, the child, brand new.
Yeah.
No one was there being hey, maybe I don't identify as this.
Yeah.
But they're stamp girl, stamp boy, no in between, no open-mindedness, I don't know. But the posters are a great way not only to make just people feel good, but also it lets you know that there's someone in your area who gives a damn about you. And I think that's kind of the best part to me, especially because I'm just knowing that someone in that area gives a shit.
Yeah.
Is kind of enough to keep you going a little bit, just that thought in the back of your head that your town, we have people in Kansas who put up posters if you walk in there you're damn, that's fucking cool, someone cares. And someone took the time to do this. Even if you don't know what it's about, you're just well, that says enough.
Yeah. And do you so you're saying this is happening all over the world, even in India. Are these posters collaborations that you guys have done, or these artists just happen to?
Oh, these are collaborations. We reached out to them, and when I say we, me and Molly Logan, who I love, and she co-created this and did. Without her, this would not have become as big as it did. I was just going to be a little rat going into the streets being we're going to tag up these places. I'm tired of this president right now.
Oh my gosh.
And she was no, let's make it bigger and we can get so many people involved, and people were more than willing because no one was saying no, which is kind of amazing.
Who's more than willing? Who are the people that are?
JD Samson, for instance, or
but not the places you're tagging.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
I'm like, wait, they're like, yeah, come up and tag this homophobic
funny enough,
establishment.
we've had like some places, like there was this boba spot, and it's just like older Asian men who worked there, and me and my friends went in with posters, and it was like 9 p.m. and we're like, excuse me, and we said to the young kids, because we saw the older men, they were giving us frowns because we're like dressed like queer kids in LA. This were where we were. And
Are you from LA?
no, I'm from North
Oh
Carolina.
yeah.
Yeah, don't say it too loud. But that's where I was when I like grew up mostly in LA, and we were in the valley doing this, and these older men were giving us like, no, like, why are you in my establishment? And we went to like the young cashier, and we were like, hey, is it okay if we hang, like, we don't usually ask for permission, but we did for some reason. We're like, is it okay if we hang a poster on the restroom? And the dude was like, you know what? I have no problem with that, but I know my uncle's gonna probably take it down. And he, like, his uncle had like went to the back or something, and I was like, that's okay, we can put it up now. You know, you did something good. And he was like, all right. And I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, see, I have faith. I have faith in.
Yeah, you have faith in the younger generation that's
yeah.
going to take over. It's just the interim.
Oh, yeah.
That's the issue. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came up with the idea and why. And
well, I identify as bisexual and gender fluid, which means like sometimes I can be a greaser, you know. Just
a what?
a greaser, you know.
What's a greaser?
Like I have like a very masculine energy that presents itself. So I'm like Danny Zuko with the ring. Like,
oh my gosh.
How are we? And then I have like more like an old Southern lady who basically like cooks food and won't leave her house. And it's just it's fluid. Mm-hmm. And bisexual, but I recently understood what gender fluid was. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Really?
I just thought that,
tell me what's recently?
Recently, as in like, I'd have to say no more than 7-8 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know there was a word for it. I just thought everyone just like
did whatever the fuck they wanted.
But no, that's not the case, like, at all. And I was like, oh, of course. Why wouldn't that? Of course there's something.
Before you found out the term gender fluid, you were just going kind of back and forth based on what you felt, or
just going on feeling.
And is this like your whole life, or?
I mean, I used to embarrassing truths.
I want everything that's embarrassing.
Like from when it came to dressing up, I used to think that like it was just like, oh, I'm just a fan of these people, but it would go like so far into it. Like when
of what people?
Like Amelia Earhart, who I mentioned before we started filming. I used to dress up as her all the time,
and
I didn't realize I had a crush on Hilary Swank. Like I didn't get that
until
at all.
You saw the movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie and I was like, oh my god, I love Amelia's look, and I didn't realize why I loved Amelia so much until I saw Boys Don't Cry. And I was like, oh, it's Hilary. Oh. That makes sense. Got it. So, yeah, gay. Got that. Great. And then I used to dress up like Steven Tyler. And I was like, I would like marry him one day, but also I want to like look like him. And so I used to dress like skinny jeans, torn up t-shirts. And it was like a completely different vibe. And I'd be walking around like I was from the 80s or something. And people would just be like, okay, well. Yeah.
And that was like daily attire.
Oh,
it wasn't
all
just
the time.
Like,
it was like switching. And then like sometimes I'm dressed like an old Native American woman, like my grandmother. And I'm just like, hi, like, how are we? You want some tea? And it just like switches all the time. But I didn't know there was a thing for that because I'd feel that way and not dress according to like how I was feeling that day. And
what would that be if you weren't dressed according?
Oh, it'd just be like I'd feel like super masculine but be like not in jeans, which would make me so uncomfortable. But I'd be like, oh well, I have to like present myself this way at this event or something, so I'm gonna wear this leather skirt. And then I was like, oh no, let's get rid of that. And so like now I'm a minimalist now, so everything I own is very precise. I own like 2 bags of things and a guitar, so it's like very small options. So I know what I like and I know what I'm going to wear if I feel like in the mood. And I know if I'm going to be like, hey, maybe wear the ring today, but then like wear your jeans and a dress on top of it. Because I don't know, I could change any moment during the day. Like,
yeah. And style is really interesting. I think style, I love fashion and just style in general is so cool because it's just a form of self-expression and how you're feeling. So for anyone, no matter what, it's fun to put things together and be able to like share with others what the feeling that you have on the inside. Obviously, it's not something that every single person in this world is able to care about, right?
Yeah.
Like in India or whatever, but I think it's super cool, and I love that you love to dress up.
Oh, especially makeup. That's what clothes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, makeup. Your makeup right now. For those of you that can't see, her makeup is like, it's like a galaxy, and I just want it like in my room all day long.
Thank you. I mean, I just like when I like started like understanding how much I loved queer culture, not realizing that I was at all in queer culture, like I am a part of it.
Can you explain that? Like how just queer culture in general? What that is?
Like consists of?
Yeah.
Well, I think it consists of different things for everyone, like what people are drawn to. For me personally, I was first drawn to like drag queens because I was like, who are these? Like, I thought everyone was a woman. I didn't understand like at a young age. I was like 16 when I first met a drag queen or knew what a drag queen was. I just thought that like people, dress however they wanted. And I was a huge fan of the 80s, but I never thought that these women weren't like, as society would say, women. So I would be like, oh, it's just a lady right there. I wouldn't think drag queen.
You just thought someone that really dressed up.
Yes, and I was like, yes, look at her. Might have even been using the wrong pronouns, but I didn't know I was a kid. And I started working in the LA art scene, and it was downtown LA, so sketch. But like the first drag queen I met was Laganja Estranja, and she was working the door at an event that I eventually ended up working with. But I remember I was like walking up to her and she was like, oh my God, you look so cute. And I was like, who is this tall lady? She's so kind.
Aww.
And like I ran up to her and like gave her a hug and she was like, you're so cute. Everything is a look. Yes. And I didn't have makeup on or anything. The makeup I was wearing was some wet Crayola, I'd lie to you not, color pencils because I was not allowed to wear makeup.
That is so creative. I'm going to try that.
It's so sad. And she was being so nice, and I know I look like a patchwork, like not even a cute look. And she was like, you look so good, girl. Your face is beat. And I was like, really? And then I saw the blunt in her hand, and I was like, that's why they call you Laganja Estranja. Like, you're kindly lying to me, or maybe you don't realize this is not a look. But then in her eyes, she's like, yes. And she's like sparkly, and she has like this extravagant outfit on. And I'm just like, my shit came from H&M. And that's my first introduction to queer culture, because like I didn't grow up in a house that was like, here's like queer people and this.
Yeah, what was your household like?
Super artsy. Like my dad's like a hippie. Like he's just like an artsy hippie. He loves everyone. My mom, she's like, I don't know how to describe that woman sometimes. It changes. But very open-minded. So but we never really crossed that bridge. And unless we were like talking about one of our cousins, they're like, your cousin's a lesbian, right? And I'm like,
okay,
what? I don't know what that is. I'm like, okay, good for her. Like,
yeah.
And like for me, queer culture was drag queens initially, and then I got very interested in history, and so I became like a huge fan of like Harvey Milk and who partially inspired this as well.
Cool.
And like I became a huge fan of like Sylvia Rivera and the Star Movement and Marsha P. Johnson, who is my fucking heart. And I got very invested in the fact that there was like a story and I didn't know about it, and I was like, excuse me, history books, where?
Yeah, so you just kind of like started peeling back the layers and learning more and more.
Oh yeah, because I was like, well, they're not going to teach me this in school. And literally,
yeah, it's interesting, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean the sex ed tapes were still like a video about AIDS that was basically like, if you're gay, you're gonna die. And it's like, okay, so
yeah,
got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, don't like this.
No.
Yeah, but that was my introduction to queer culture, and I'm sure people have like different things that draw them in. But like, I mean, my first week in New York, my only desire was to go to the Stonewall Inn, sneak in, and get a T-shirt because I'm too young.
What's Stonewall Inn?
Oh my God, it's where the Stonewall riots happened. Marsha P. Johnson threw the shot glass heard around the world. I think I'm not sure. I might be wrong. I think it started the Pride March in New York.
Oh, wow.
Or it was right around the timing of it. I believe it started it, but like it was a huge riot. Basically, it was one of the first times in like recent history in America where queer people fought back.
Wow.
And it was freaking beautiful. And people will say that like other people started the march. I mean the riot, but it was Marsha. It was Marsha. She was like, I'm not going down without a fight. I'm tired of this. And they won, which was like crazy.
Yeah.
Which is like people can win, even when it doesn't seem like the odds are in their favor.
Yeah.
And they did. And now it's a historical landmark, which it should be.
That's incredible. So you were like, that's my first stop.
Oh, yeah. I was not getting a T-shirt. And
That's so
I went
cool.
in there 3 times and did not get carded. And I was like, ugh. And then the bartender was like, where's your ID? And I was like, I don't have one of those. But can I please
But I have
get
a
that
poster.
shirt?
I have a poster I'll give you.
I couldn't even get to the restroom, so I just tagged the front door of the bar. And I know they took it off because they were like, what is wrong with this kid? Like, she snuck in, she bought a T-shirt, now she just put a poster on our door. Like, oh, that's so sad.
Are you like tagging with spray paint?
No.
Just posters.
Just posters. I mean, people could do what they want, but that's not what we're saying go do. That's why we made posters. And we find that to be,
enough. Yeah.
But
you're not like vandalizing.
No. Like
Even though it'd be
people
cool.
can take them off. We hope they don't, which is like the hope. Like, don't take them off. Read them, celebrate it. Be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to turn a blind eye and not take that off the wall. Like, that's what I want.
So it's only in restrooms? Like, is that where you guys are focusing?
We were focusing on restrooms, but then people started taking them to other places. Like, people have hung them up in their offices. People have hung them up in their bedrooms. And I'm just like, you know what? Who am I to say only restrooms? Hang them up where you see fit, where you need the love, where you want to see the love. And I plan on taking them to the street, which is going to be so fun. I mean, just walking down the street and then seeing a poster that says, like,
cool.
Everybody welcome, just on the street, be like, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like in LA when there's like movie posters, one after another, after another, after another. And it's like tag the whole wall.
block.
Yeah.
The whole block.
That's super cool. I'll help you.
Thank you. We can always recruit more.
Yeah. I want you to give me a rundown on like drag culture lingo or queer culture lingo. You have to.
Let's see.
Because I just learned the only thing I know, and our art director taught me, and he doesn't know how to say it. So he was like, someone has to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to do it right, but occur. Yeah. What,
like,
okay, what is that? And then like tell me more.
It was basically just like a okay, but it's like a holla back. Be like it's like a bat
Do you say
signal. I can't lie. I used it yesterday on Instagram stories because
you like typed it. You didn't even just like say it. You were like,
like it has to have like at least 12 R's. Like be like it's a thing.
Show us.
Well, okr is like a favorite, but like you have to be like in the mood. Like you have to be hyped up.
And that's like when someone's talking shit or just saying okay.
Oh, it could be either way. It could be like if you're just agreeing with someone, whether like, you know what, this bitch was like acting hella rude, and you're like, okr. And then it could be like someone's like really serving a look, and you're just like, yes, okr, yes. And like that's just like praise basically. And then my favorite, which my friend Linux, the drag queen, uses all the time, is gag. It's just like the best thing to me because she says it so casually. And
gag.
She's like, get ready to gag, girls. And I'm just like, yes, Linux, tell me more. And then she's like, my boyfriend did this. And I'm like, And then I'm sitting there and I'm just, and she's like, right.
Oh, and that's gagging.
Yes, that's gagging when like it's like a jaw drop.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen her in person in years, but I just like watch her on Instagram and I'm just like, oh, you are right. I was ready to gag and I just did. I can't because like she'll tell
so
like the
funny.
craziest stories, like my boyfriend was dead and now he's alive again. And I'm like, how, Linux? how did that happen? And she's trans as well, which is great. And she's like, she was like one of the first queer people I had become friends with in my life that I knew of. And she was out and she had like blue hair, and she was friends with a gay kid named Colton, and they would like dance in public and like twerk and do headstands. I think I still have the footage of all this. And I was just like, wow, gay people are awesome.
Yeah.
And then when I finally came to terms like, oh, wait, bitch, you gay. I was like, damn, still right. Okay. It's like, oh, they're the best.
I'm fucking awesome.
I'm like, you have no clue, honey. Like our history to and fro, we're just fucking awesome all the way through.
Aww.
Yeah. So gag is a favorite. And the tongue pop is just like iconic.
What?
Oh, like Alyssa Edwards, it takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
See,
That's a click. You're like popping.
Oh, yeah,
I'm clicking, you're popping. I can't do it.
it takes effort. I had to practice a lot because when I saw Alyssa Edwards do it on RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like,
oh my
and
gosh.
I had to practice for weeks. And I remember my sister was like, what are you doing? And I was like, Alyssa Edwards said, make that tongue pop, make that tongue pop. And I can't do it. And so I just, and then when I finally got it, I was so happy. It was like I graduated, and I didn't even go to high school, but it was like my graduation was when.
That's amazing.
Like I was like, oh my God.
What about your sister? So, okay, how many siblings do you have?
I have a younger brother and a younger sister and a stepsister who is older than I am.
And what are they like?
Oh, they're super cool. Everyone like rubs off of my dad. He's basically just like this tree of artistic creativity and like weird hippiness, and then we all just became just like him.
That's awesome. And do they like learning new things like you, like learning the culture and tongue popping and all that?
I don't think they had a choice.
No, yeah. So they know and they do it.
Because I'd be sitting there like watching documentaries. Like when I saw Paris is Burning for the first time, I just watched it in the living room, and like anyone who came through would see like Willie Ninja and like all these people, and it's like, oh, you're just gonna absorb this because this is a part of Earth's history as well as any other like stuff. I don't care about Columbus. Like I know what he did. Fuck him. Mm-hmm. But I do care about like the house of like all these people. Like these people are creating houses and families and looking out for each other. I care more about that. Yeah. And I think it's sort of just like all of our lives like inspire each other a little bit.
That's so cool.
Which is cool because then like my brother can wear a skirt if he wants to or a dress and not feel like his siblings are going to look at him and be like, what? We're going to be like, oh my God, yes. Get that hemmed. Oh, no. I think he might have a skirt. No, he had a t-shirt that was long enough to be considered a dress. And I think my mom, I don't know if she cut it up, but like she was not a fan of it or like she tried to get rid of it. I remember I had like a whole thing with her because I was like, he should be able to wear whatever he wants. Yeah. Like, and that's like a cis black man. And I'm like, if he wants to wear a fucking dress, let him wear a fucking dress. Like, excuse me? Like, that's not your decision. That's not my decision. Plus, that's a very expensive Topshop dress he has right there. And we are not taking that back. No, he's going to wear it. And it's going to look good. Mm-hmm. And that was probably like one of the proudest moments I had with my brother because I was just like, you fight for that dress, boy. Yes, go for it. And I wasn't letting him fight alone either. I was like, he can wear whatever he wants. Aww. And I don't want to hear nothing about it. And, you know, maybe I'll go buy him a dress now. I just remembered that. I forgot about that.
When was that?
It had to be like a year and a half ago, if that.
And a year and a half ago, were you in North Carolina?
No, I was in LA.
So your family moved to LA?
Yes.
And then you met Molly?
Yes, I met Molly at she also runs School of Doodle, and it was a School of Doodle workshop. And I had my Mozart wig on, my t-shirt that said proud owner of a vagina. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking around like, and I did a Twiggy eye. Like I spent a lot of time getting ready because I was so excited. And Urban Outfitters had like been like, oh, we don't want to hire you. So I'm just like, everything sucks. I'm gonna go here instead. And so I went to this workshop and like I'm walking around, I'm seeing all these people. I don't know anyone except for my sister. She was there, but she sort of like strayed off to like do the crafts and things. And then this lady comes up to me and smooth as fuck. She pulls out this like gold lined thick ass paper. That's how you know it's fancy.
Yeah.
Business card. And she was like this. She was like, "My name's Molly. I want you to work here." And I was like,
whoa.
"Who are you? This is like a movie. Hi.
Oh
my
my
name's Gray."
gosh.
And we talked about Bernie Sanders and like it was like something weird. It didn't make sense. And she was like, "Okay, so I want you to work here. Email me." And I was like,
Whoa.
"Oh, so like," I was like, "So like an internship?" She was like, "No, like I'm going to pay you to work here." And I was like, "Yes." And no one would believe it was true. I told my dad. He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So right, okay, good. So that's not
Call
real.
me when it happens.
Yeah.
Show me the receipts.
Show me the receipts. I'm like, "You see this thick ass business card is real." And he's like, "Okay, well." Also, I'm the most gullible child in the family, so I'm sure he was like, "Oh,
Poor thing.
oh, this is like one of those like internet raffles, isn't it? You thought you won again." And it was so real. And then like she moved me out to New York. She's like, "Come here. We're gonna like we have
She
an
moved
office."
you out here?
Oh yeah, it was like a whole thing. She's basically like a saint, but also she's a total like Trojan horse, which is kind of awesome because people see her as like this fancy white lady. Like she'll have her Chanel bag and be like,
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as she like, if you get to know her, then you see like this sort of like edge, and she's basically like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh no, I'm basically just getting y'all in the room. Like I just want y'all like go in, fix their shit, like fuck their shit up and have them pay you a whole bunch of money." And I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And I wish I came up with it. Like, because she can go into those spaces. She can go into like all these like business head rooms and be like, "Hey, I have all these girls and gender nonconforming people that are creative and have great ideas, and you need great ideas, pay them." And then we come in looking like the most glamorous ragtag team. And she's just like, "You're going to listen to them now." I bet you didn't see that coming. Because she'll sit back and not say anything and let us actually speak, which is, it blows people's minds because you see all these people in suits and stuff like,
Wow.
"Oh, so I'm listening to a 19-year-old. She's like, "Yes, take notes."
That's incredible.
Which is like crazy.
And do you get nervous?
I don't think I do, because then I realize, well, Molly always is like, the one thing that you have to like remember when you're going into those spaces is like people want to hear what you have to say. It's no one being like, like no one's there not to learn. And even if you have to learn from each other, that's fine. And that may cause like a little bit of like a tiff or some debate. And like you work out on an idea, or you're like, "We disagree on this, we agree on this." Totally fine.
Yeah.
But you sort of just like wing it. 'Cause, I mean, I just always pretend I'm James Dean. So I'm like, which character am I playing today?
No, it's great. I love that. I think
So it's good.
yeah, everyone has to kind of sometimes fall into character to feel a little bit more empowered when you feel like nervous or scared or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just like, "Ugh."
Yeah. So what are the businesses that you guys go into? Tell us a little bit about that. Like who are these people that you're talking to and giving your brilliant ideas to?
Well, I'm gonna keep them confidential for now because I don't know if I'm supposed to. I signed NDAs like the
Every day.
receipts, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say or not supposed to say.
Yeah.
But they're like awesome companies who are like fucking awesome.
So well, you don't have to say the exact names, but these people are basically saying, we want to be more open-minded. We want to help change the culture, and we need you to help, like educate us.
Oh yeah, they basically want to know like what is Gen Z, how they can like basically like be better and do better, which I think is cool for anyone, not just companies, just people in general. And Molly's like, "Well, I think this is a great opportunity for you to not only like, not just like rip the culture, which people always, people are going to come back at you for that. I mean, it's wrong in any respect." And so she's like, "Why don't you instead pay these kids for their opinions, treat them like they're human beings, and then you are doing better, learning, and like it's just good all the way around." And she's always like, "You are not going to rip off these people, these girls, or these gender nonconforming people. Not on my watch." And so it's like we can all trust her, which is great because like we've gotten emails from places where we're just like, hey, Molly, they said that we should do this and this for free. She was like, they'd pay an adult like $20,000 for that. What are you talking about? And I was like, cute, cute. But they said they'll give me ice cream. And she's like,
it's like those free candy signs.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, I actually got an email that was like, we will give you ice cream if you come do this.
What?
And Molly was like, they'd pay an adult like a decent chunk of change for what you're about to go give them for ice cream.
Yeah.
And I was like, but there's ice cream. And she's like, mm-mm. She's like, no, that is a no. And I was like, cute, cool.
That's so funny.
She's like, that's like a multi-million-dollar business that you're about to go for ice cream. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cute. And she's like, I'll get you ice cream. And I was like, deal.
Let's go get ice cream. Fuck those guys.
Yeah. And she did, and it was great.
Yeah. Aw. So tell me a little bit about, again, like you were talking about how you didn't know what Genderfluid was. And I don't remember if we did that on or off camera at this point. But anyways, so then what happened when you figured out, like 8 months ago, you said, right?
Yeah, it was about like 8 months ago.
And that was before you met. That was before Arts Not Parts.
No, this was during Arts Not Parts. I think we were like getting ready to launch it. So we were like already doing this. And I didn't know what to call that because I was like, it's not trans, but maybe it is trans. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. And funny enough, I was at the Leslie Lohman Museum in Soho. And I saw a rainbow flag and I was like, oh, I'll walk in there. And I was like walking in the rain. I was being hella dramatic. But I was like, so happy. Yes, I'll walk into the rainbow flag building. I didn't know it was a museum. And so I go in there and I'm greeted by this person and their name is Nirvana. And I was like, I'm in the right place. And they're like, can you sign in and like give a $5 donation? And I was like, totally cool. Yes. And I do the sign in and it has like all these options for, I guess like, gender identity. And I was like, oh. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, because I didn't want to lie.
50 different options, like Facebook. It
was a decent amount. It's like maybe 10, 11. I was like, and then I read something that said gender fluid, and I was like, what is that? What does that mean? I was like, that sounds right. Because I was going to put like cis female, like done. But then I was reading it, and I was like, what? I'm sorry.
Why? Like,
because that's why I'd always been told. Yeah. Like, you're just a cis female. I was like, okay. And then I read that and I was like, oh no, whatever that is correct. And so I like clicked it and signed in because I didn't want to lie. And that, like, you're in like a very queer space. Like it's a gay museum. And so I was like, oh, I'm not lying here. And then I was like, this word, whatever it is, makes so much sense to me. And I just clicked it and I was like, yep. That sounds about right. And then I like looked around the museum and I volunteer there now. Like they're awesome. And I learned more about like what gender fluid means or and a lot of my friends were gender nonconforming and I just sort of didn't even question it. I just was like, okay. Like you can
What's the difference?
Now, there goes I think gender nonconforming people don't identify with any gender, don't feel any tie to any gender in particular. Me, I feel a tie to a more masculine, like, energy. I'll say energy instead of gender. Energy and a more feminine energy, but also there's, like, an in-between that just, like, it could be anything. Like, I don't even know what that is. And I think that's the difference because I have friends who, like, even the way they present, I wouldn't even call them, like, a gender. Like, nothing in my brain would assign them to any gender because I don't feel that from them. It just feels like a very, like, I don't know, like maybe otherworldly, like they're fucking gods. I'm like, just yes, like okay. And I never questioned it either. Like people tell me, you tell me who you are, I'm gonna believe you. And so then I started doing research because I was like, oh, I never really thought to even research this stuff. Yeah. And then like it's just
who's like coming up with this research? You know, who's like coming up with these names?
I was on Urban Dictionary, which is not credible. But
but it's like, something.
It's
right?
something. Yeah. I mean, it was either that or like Wikipedia or random articles. So I was like, if I get something wrong, I'll blame it on the internet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I thought it was great. I was like, gender fluid sounds like it fits me, and whatever else fits anyone else, I'm totally accepting of. Like, you come and tell me like, I think that my aura is blue without ever seeing it, and I'd be like, you're probably right. I can't see it either. You know you better than I do. Shit. It's like,
yeah. Okay, so tell me about the Manic situation.
Oh, well, I'm bipolar, and that's where my name came from.
Gray. Why?
Gray, dot, 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 3 dots behind it. Now, I guess I left myself a note when I did this, but
When you did what?
I went manic.
Okay.
And this like
When?
2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had never like went manic before that I was conscious of. I should say that I would go manic but never be conscious of it. This time I was very aware and very conscious of it, and I was doing more research into like
After the fact you were aware and
No,
conscious of it
during the bits and pieces I can remember.
How
during.
long?
It had to be like 2 days. I had like the most energy. I was listening to the Beatles in like my hallway because I thought the acoustics would like I was out there. And I had deleted like all my social media posts, and I changed my name on like my Instagram. I like deleted. I had a Twitter for some reason. I don't even use Twitter. I was like, what is happening today?
You created a Twitter account.
I created a Twitter account.
I went manic and I created a Twitter account.
And then I was like, and it doesn't say anything in the bio, nothing. It was just like random spurts of words. And I was like, oh no, good thing I have 0 followers. And so I was like, oh, so I deleted that. But I noticed that I put for my name on everything, Gray, dot, dot, dot.
I love it.
I had like written on some papers in my room, it was like, the 3 dots are because it's an unfinished idea. And I'm like, oh, great. You leave me with this. Good. Got it.
So like 2 days later, you feel like you're finally coming down, you're even keel, and then you realize what's going on.
Manic me had changed my name. So I was like,
oh my gosh, but like Manic you is like brilliant. I mean, is it that bad? You know?
I didn't think it was bad at all. I mean, personally, I'm like, there's like a bittersweetness to being bipolar because a lot of creative people get a lot of their creativity from it, or it is enhanced by it. So I was like, oh my, I couldn't have been called any other name than this. Like, this just makes sense. And I was like,
it makes so much sense.
I mean, not the like it's an unfinished. I was like, you bitch. What is this? That isn't, wow.
Okay.
That's not. Yes, that was everything. That was the best thing ever.
I'm seriously gonna like call
iconic.
you and just say that.
That was fucking iconic. Yes, and the timing. Oh, it was perfect. Oh, that just gave me life. Exactly. So you used it appropriately.
Knowledge is power.
Got that right. The more you know. Reading Rainbow. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It's fucking perfect.
That's so funny. Well, I love you, and I think I would love Manic you, so that's amazing. And
thank you.
Yeah, I just like, I guess the last thing is tell me a little bit more about where you see Arts Not Parts going, and what you're excited about and what we can expect from it and how we can support it.
Well, supporting it, I'd say go tag up those posters. Even if it means in your living room, like anywhere. People are just putting it like in their office break rooms. And I don't know what that'll do for someone getting their morning coffee. Maybe it'll make them smile, or, you know, then they know someone in their office like gives a shit. Again, who cares. And for me personally, I just want to see it change people's minds and maybe save a couple lives, because the suicide rate for trans people or queer people in general is way too fucking high. Like it doesn't make it makes sense, but it shouldn't make sense, which is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more spaces that are very open, even if it means like a street corner or wherever, that are like, hey, there's someone around there who cares about you and who loves you, and like slightly is like willing to go to jail for you in this effort to like let you know.
Yeah.
Because we may not all have access to each other, even with the world of social media and everything. Not everyone is out. Not everyone knows how to articulate their feelings. Not everybody knows like what trans or gender fluid or any of these things are, because I mean, we're in New York right now, and New York is not like the rest of the world.
No.
LA is not like the rest of the world. There's like a middle and then the rest, you know? Islands and shit and everything. And I mean, what they're doing in Russia right now, like parts of Russia is just like, no, like, don't forget, this is just a small little island, New York. LA is just, I mean, an earthquake, hopefully not. But like it's very small parts of the world that we're like banking on to really like this is like everything. It's like no, people are getting killed and hunted and it's not put in prisons. Like this is not okay. China's like banning all of the access to basically any queer knowledge right now, parts of China I should say. And it's not right. And I hope to see like people in China putting up posters and being like, hey, yeah, I know what you said is like the rule, but I'm just not going to listen to it. Because I'm like, most people don't listen to rules anyway. So just do it in like a positive way.
No, I don't like rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, hey, go do something like this, we were like, I like that. I'll go do it. I was like, even if someone told you not to, they're like, yeah. I think I'll still do it.
Yeah.
Even if someone told you you're not supposed to like these people, yeah, I think I'll still do that. And I'll probably still like these people and care about them and love them. And it blows my mind, like how much people are willing to go against the grain because they're realizing that like nothing is set in stone. Nothing is reliable other than yourself. Like, you know how to treat people. So treat people that way. Don't go against it because of what a book says or what some congressman says or what your school is saying. This is the golden standard. Like, forget those people and like go like listen to the Trues with Russell Brand or something. Like change your mind a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing with us. I had so much fun with you, and I'm just super excited to stay connected and see how else we can help each other out.
Yes, you better hit me up when y'all are in New York now.
I'm
like,
definitely
that's
going to. I'm coming here more often, and we're like going to go out together.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll take you to Secret Project Robot, and I'll bring Hunter Schafer, and she designed a poster, and she's an awesome trans model, and like she's fucking breathtaking, and the world is going to be like shook, like just like sit back and watch.
Yes. And I'm going to put a poster up in our pop-up and wherever we go. I'm super excited.
Oh my God, I'm so stoked. Thank you so much. This is so cool.
Yeah, this was fun.